on Freelander, we put an enormous amount of effort, an unprecedented amount of effort.
The Mk1 Freelander doesn't have a great reputation for reliability, but with only a few still left, there's a higher proportion of gold among the garbage. In any case, it's still a handsome and interesting SUV with a string of Land Rover firsts to its name, the first to be of unibody construction, to have independent suspension all-round, and to have a transverse engine. Plus, it was the first vehicle to have a computerized hill descent control, HDC system, at least on higher spec models to begin with, until it later became standard. It was also Gary McGovern's first Land Rover design project. The public loved it, and its success financed a raft of new models. It came in 4 body styles: 3-door softback, the hood is a pain to operate, 3-door hardback commercial, and 5-door, the best seller. At launch, there were 2 Rover engines to choose from: the familiar 118 brake horsepower 1.8-liter K-Series petrol and the L-Series diesel, producing 98 brake horsepower and a useful 155 pounds-ft of torque at 2,000 RPM. Useful, but apparently not useful enough, because in 2000 it was replaced by BMW's more efficient 2.0-liter TD4, producing 114 brake horsepower. Among these 4-cylinder engines was a 2.5-liter V6. Introduced in 2001 primarily for the American market, but also offered in the UK, it made 175 brake horsepower. It was a 5-speed automatic and could take the 1,625 kilograms Freelander from 0 to 62 in 10 seconds. It's very thirsty. The TD4 is easily the most plentiful and the one to go for, as the 1.8 can't really be trusted. On the road, the Freelander lacks the directness and precision of a modern SUV. Its soft suspension, for example, causes it to lean heavily in corners. Off-road, however, it will leave them stranded. Build quality also improved. Trims ranged from basic E, no electric door mirrors or aircon, but that means there's less to go wrong, to HSE, with aircon, leather, and fog lights. Rare but interesting ones include Sport from 2003. The ride height is reduced by 30 mm for sharper on-road performance. Interior space is for 4 people, while lowering the back seat turns the Freelander into a useful workhorse. The 5-door has better rear visibility than the soft top, which has a thick B-pillar and a narrow rear side window. At first, the HDC system had a very rough few edges, while the front and rear axles had different ratios that caused uneven tire wear. Both issues were resolved from late 2000. These are the words of a customer: "My Freelander is the rare 3-door with removable hardtop. It's not as practical as the 5-door and visibility isn't as good, but I like the looks. It was registered in 2006, so is one of the last ones, and has done 100,000 miles. Being a TD4, it does around 30 miles per gallon. The drive shafts and rear brakes have been replaced recently, but there's no rust. It's very reliable." Here are Land Rover Freelander common problems. Number 1, the engine. Early 1.8 petrols suffered cooling issues, but most were resolved with the fitment of an upgraded head gasket. Many surviving cars will have had this work done, but check around the oil filler for oil and water mayonnaise anyway. Check the coolant is fresh and topped up. The timing belt should be changed every 72,000 miles or 7 years. The L-Series diesel is trusty, but the TD4 is the one to buy. It has a timing chain and is reliable, except for some issues with the fuel injection system and turbocharger. Second, the gearbox. At motorway speeds and in reverse, listen for noises and cracking. Inspect the transfer case at the rear for oil leaks. Make sure gear changes are positive and the clutch isn't slipping. Third, the steering, suspension, and brakes. Check the condition of the hydraulic steering pipework and connections. The steering itself should be reasonably direct and precise. On the road, the ride should be soft and car-like, but expect some rattles and looseness from worn bushes and track rod ends, which should be picked up by an MOT test. Pre-2001 Freelanders have front discs and rear drums, and later ones discs all round. Either way, Check the car pulls up straight and that discs and calipers are in good condition. Don't trust the handbrake on post-1997 cars. Number 4. Electrics. There's quite a bit of new tech, so check there are no warning lights showing for the ABS, hill descent, and traction control systems. If they're illuminated, maybe sensor issues or more expensive problem with the four-wheel drive system. The electric windows can fail, especially the one in the tailgate. The aircon will likely need regassing. Number 5. Interior. Don't expect this to be in the first flush, but having established that the windows go up and down and the central locking works, be on the lookout for unsightly damage, such as a cracked dashboard or a leaking sunroof, which can cause electrical problems. Number 6. Body. Corrosion shouldn't be an issue even at this age. Instead, check the underside, sills, front and rear overhangs and drive shafts for damage caused by overly ambitious off-roading. The Freelander has a so-called viscous coupling unit, VCU, that's meant to transfer power to the rear wheels when the fronts begin to slip. With age, the viscous fluid can become thick and unresponsive. Rather than replace it, some owners just disconnect or even remove the prop shaft and live with front-wheel drive. Check that the prop shaft is present, connected and transferring drive as it should. You should spend £500 to £1,500 for pre- and post-facelift 3 and 5-door TD4S, most with 120,000 plus miles and in average condition. £1,500 to £3,000 for TD4S of the same age, but with slightly lower mileages. £3,000 to £5,500 for better cars with good service histories and fewer previous owners. Good luck. Thank you for the attention and have a nice day.